to Miss Nell Speaks, and in the last lesson we actually looked at squares and square roots. So today we're going to continue something similar, but this time we're going to look at cube and cube root. And this is in fact in one of the chapters in your Form 1 syllabus, so it's actually chapter 3. So we talk about cube, or a number that is a power 3. So this 3 here can be simplified and mentioned as cube. So you don't have to mention that this a has a power of 3. So instead of saying such a long term, you can just say a cube. And what does that mean? It simply means a multiplied by itself 3 times. So you would do a number multiplying by itself 3 times whenever you see a cube. So let us try a particular number, say 1/3, and we would like to cube this number. So we're going to have 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3 3 times, and that gives you 1/27. So how do you find cube root instead? Say you have a cube root of 512. So it simply means that you need to find a number that would multiply themselves 3 times, giving you this answer here as 512. So it does take some trial and error, or if you could memorize the multiplication table, it probably will save a lot of time. And the answer here is actually 8. So just fill in the blank, and therefore the answer is 8, but don't forget to put in the cube root. So your final answer will be 8. Now if I have a negative number that is cube, similar to our first lesson on square, because the negative is not in the bracket, so there is no need for you to repeatedly multiply this, and your answer is actually -1/8 instead. Now let me show you the contrast difference between this. So if you're going to have this negative here that is in the bracket, so you have to actually consider the entire number being cube, and therefore you still have -1/8. Alright, so in this case it's not so much difference because the power is an odd number. So that's how you would do it. Okay, and same thing here. If you're gonna have a decimal number, okay, so decimal number here, if you're gonna cube this decimal number, so it's just gonna be the same as multiplying. So again, with or without the bracket is very important. I would stress that you always remind yourself if there is no bracket, because it makes a significant difference. Alright, now let's try a more difficult fraction with that is a fraction in mixed numbers. So we're going to find the cube root of this number. Okay, also similar to what you have learned in the square lesson, we're going to change this to improper fraction. Okay, and then you see familiar numbers. So cube root of 27 is 3, and cube root of 8 is 2. Then if you want to switch it back to this, is fine. Alright, so always don't try and deal with too difficult numbers. And you can also be asked to estimate the values of a particular cube, say 4.3 cube. Okay, and if you're not allowed to use the calculator, so we're going to think that 4.3 is between 4 and 5, right? I'm going to take round numbers. We're not going to take 4.5 though, it's closer. Alright, and therefore we know that 4 cubed is 64 and 5 cubed is 125. Therefore 4.3 cubed is going to be between 64 and 125, but because 4.3 is closer to 4 than closer to 5, so it's going to be close to 64. Alright, so that is what it means by estimation. Alright, so there you go, some questions on cube root and cube. Make sure you try some questions by yourself. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a comment below. Till we meet you again, see you, bye bye.